is May the 12th. I'm Jennifer from Cultaholic. This is This Day in Wrestling. And Jack the Jobber is with me today.
Hey!
Hello. Hello.
Pow!
Wow.
I'm just trying to make, I've said before, I'm just trying to make every intro a little bit different.
I like that. The energy was here. Like, that's where we're going to keep it.
I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to do that again. I feel like it didn't work. But we'll see what the response is like.
I can't wait for the next one then.
Right.
This is my new gimmick. I'm just a new entrance every time from Jack the Jobber.
Right.
But no, keep that energy up because
I'm all embarrassed with myself now. I can't believe I've done it. Okay, right.
Keep the energy up because it's actually a bit of a day today.
Oh.
Like in terms of news, not the best. But we'll crack on.
Okay.
Right, we'll crack on. So 1989, Roddy Piper ends his 2-year retirement.
It was a wrestling retirement, wasn't it? Where it's not really a
retirement. But he came back at a house show to replace Jake the Snake Roberts. Now, why was he replacing him?
I don't know, I'm guessing he was injured or something?
Right. I know, I genuinely didn't know.
I don't know.
Just because it was a house show, like I didn't find any info.
That would have been exciting though.
Yeah.
Jake's not wrestling. Oh, it's Roddy Piper's back.
Imagine that. And also it kind of like leads back to the whole, like you need big things in house shows still.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot that really goes down on them.
No. I wonder if they did it in those days though, because there was no Raw. There was no weekly.
Well, good point actually.
Yeah. But Roddy Piper.
Yeah, sorry. He's getting back to the point here.
He's great.
Yeah.
I love Roddy Piper.
So did I. He went on at this show to defeat Ted DiBiase. So
lovely. Well, I think he's one of the few wrestlers maybe ever who I equally enjoyed as a face or a heel.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah?
Yeah. He was just so good on the mic. Like he was just so entertaining.
Yeah.
And like he would always capture your attention, I think.
Yes. He kind of
but
always
without stealing a show. Like, do you know what I mean? Like he wasn't somebody when he came out that you would just kind of ignore other people. He just worked it. He was so good.
He always seemed like he was about to snap. He was always like this frantic energy. And also like, I think he's like a bit of an unsung hero at WrestleMania 1. Everyone's always like, oh, Cyndi Lauper, Hulk Hogan, and Mr. T, and it all was great. But I think without a good villain for them to be in the main event, and Orndorff as well, I guess. But I just remember Piper really antagonising the faces and being like an excellent like heel in the main event of WrestleMania 1. I mean, it doesn't get overlooked, but I think it doesn't get mentioned as often as it should.
It should do.
Yeah.
No, he was an absolute classic.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's really random, I don't know why that just popped into my head there. Did you ever see, you know that programme Wife Swap?
Yeah.
Ever see the one with Ric Flair and Roddy Piper? Check it out, it's bizarre.
Oh.
How weird that they did that.
Bizarre, yeah.
So there you go, Wife Swap.
And also, what was it? I had another thing. And also, his legacy's kind of lived on through Ronda Rousey because she's been massively influenced by it.
Absolutely.
She wore his jacket and stuff.
Still touches me. Still touched by that.
Very good.
1997, we are going to Raw, where RVD Rob Van Dam defeats Jeff Hardy.
In 97?
Yes, which is interesting because he was still signed to ECW.
Yeah, this was a weird little thing where the WWF were like, oh, we're going to work a little bit with ECW.
Yeah.
Which is cool because you kind of see them doing the same thing today with certain promotions. Like
certain promotions
Evolve,
in the UK. Yeah,
ICW, your boys.
My peeps.
Your brethren.
Progress. Like they were all wrestling over in NOLA, like at NXT. There's a few guys from Progress in there.
I watched some of that yesterday, actually, last night.
Oh, did you? What did you watch?
I watched Jimmy Havoc versus Matt Riddle.
Nice.
Jimmy Havoc bit his bare foot. He bit Matt Riddle's bare foot. I know. And didn't even have to go like afterwards. He just sort of carried on wrestling. I was like, Jimmy. I know.
Dude, that's so gross.
He's a heel, but
still, you don't eat them.
But yeah, sorry, this cross promotion.
Yeah, sorry,
Because at the time, Vince like hated WCW and Bischoff and all that sort of stuff. But I think Vince is quite savvy, isn't he, throughout the history of wrestling?
Vince is a mastermind.
Yeah.
Like he is. There's no two ways about it.
Until Triple H takes over, because he is actually he's the cerebral.
Look at NXT.
It's so good. And 205 Live. Everything he touches, it's great. But I think Vince must have realised like there's this smaller promotion on the East Coast and it's really kicking up a fuss, I guess. Everyone was like, whoa, what's this crazy hardcore thing? And he just sort of captured a little bit of it and and it helped out both sides because WWF looked all cool and hip and new, and ECW were like on the big stage, so it kind of worked both ways.
Yeah, it's like a kind of, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Exactly. So I like it. It's one of the loveliest stories of wrestling. Jerry Lawler got to be a big old heel. He showed up in ECW as well. The lights all went out and came back up, and Lawler was there, and they hated him. They hate him there. But it was a very interesting time. I wonder how long before we'll see something like that again.
Well, now it's happening.
No, but where like they'll show up on Raw or something.
Okay. Oh yeah. Ooh, that would be good. Or NXT probably.
Do another NXT invasion?
Yeah, because I mean, I want that to happen. Ooh.
Yeah, I want to see Velveteen Dream doing his thing.
Love him.
Yeah.
Love him. 2001. We've got a match here.
Oh, right.
Now, was this at Velocity?
I think Pacitti said, right. We don't know too much. Pacitti's sort of walked us through this, right? So this was Perry Saturn versus Mike.
2001. Mike Bell, Perry Saturn.
It was for Jacked, I think. Jacked.
Okay.
A taping.
Okay.
Like a smaller show, and it just went a bit wrong, basically. So Perry Saturn.
Talk us to it, because I was kind of half listening.
I've seen the footage before. So when Pacitti brought it up to me, I was like, I've recognised this story.
You did.
But I don't know what quite happened. I think Mike, is it Bell or Ball? Mike. Oh, it's not there.
Mike Bell.
It's alright. I've got it. Oh.
Mike Bell.
Mike Bell. Yeah, Bell. He somehow botched a move or something, dropped Perry Saturn on his head, and Saturn beat him up. Like, he shot on him and like properly beat him. It's quite distressing to watch. You're like, whoa, what's going on? Yeah, he like kicks him and he's hitting him and stuff. He throws him out the ring. I think the guy takes a nasty spill. And Saturn has since been interviewed and apparently doesn't remember it. Like, the knock on the head just sort of sent him into, I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but you kind of can see it. Just sort of sent him into defense mode and he just started throwing. And then this is the reason why he was given so many stupid gimmicks after that, because he came in as part of the Radicals, like this serious new group from WCW, and then he suddenly was hanging out with a mop and wearing a dress and stuff, and was it Moppy the mop? Moppy. But that, ironically, that kind of got him over more than...
I was going to say, at that time, I suppose it's quite daft.
Yeah, it's a bit of a horrible story. I see why in the intro you said, keep the energy high. Yeah,
because now we're just going to crash and burn. This is grim. Yes, 2002 we're going to, and it's actually the passing of mass transit.
One of the nastiest stories in wrestling history.
Absolutely. I think it's just referred to as the incident.
The mass transit incident. Yeah, it's So should we quickly, for those who don't know?
Yeah, go for it. Like, recap it, like, for people that don't know. I think most people would.
Yeah. So in an ECW show, I think he was 17. A 17-year-old untrained kid, essentially, Eric Kulas, managed to somehow blag his way into a match where someone had to pull out against the Gangsters, New Jack, and Saeed Mustafa. And he needed to basically in the match. He was the plan was for the other team to just get hit with loads of weapons and stuff. But at one point, he was required to bleed, and didn't know how to do it himself. He didn't know how to wrestle. Wasn't even a trained wrestler at all. And got New Jack to do it for him, and New Jack cut him way too deep, or like nicked an artery or something. He was in a bad way. Didn't pass away at the time, but did afterwards. And it's just one of those stories about which really makes the industry. It's the worst of the wrestling industry.
Yeah, because it just kind of, I don't know. It's so grim because. It just, how did that happen? How did he
get into the ring?
How does that not... I know things were different then, you don't kind of do as much checks, it's all maybe gone a wee bit too mad.
I think his dad was there, and his dad lied for him and said that he was 19, and that he had been trained. I think he said by Killer Kowalski. Yeah, it was, yeah. And then they just kind of went, okay. They just believed it.
You'll do, come on.
Yeah, and it's just a bit...
It is, it's it's grim. And it's a shame that that's what he was known for. I
know.
Maybe if he'd gone to training and done something, he could have been...
Maybe.
Could have been somebody.
Maybe. It's a nasty story. And it's hard. It's one where you can't really put the blame on any one person. Is it New Jack for the spot itself? Is it
I think New Jack pretty much gets the blame.
Right, but is it Heyman for letting it happen? Is it, is it the kid himself? Is it his dad? There's so many things.
Okay, in 2011, we'll go in some bad news for Mr. Brock Lesnar.
Oh.
He is pulled from UFC 131.
Diverticulitis. Oh, apparently
I'm so glad you said that, not me.
Diverticulitis. Is that why you just stopped the sentence
I know,
there?
it was like that.
Well, Shane McMahon's just had it as well, allegedly.
Oh, really?
In the build-up to WrestleMania. I think it was part of...
Was that what that was?
I think it was kayfabe.
Oh.
I don't know, though. But, no, this kind of really cut Lesnar's UFC career down a bit because apparently it's horrible. Apparently it's really
I don't really know much about it. I know it's your stomach.
It's something to do with your digestion, yeah, and just really...
But, like, is it, like, ruptured or something? I don't is that
quite
what
know.
it is?
But I just know that he took some time off to get like surgery for it and recover and stuff. Came back against a guy called Alistair Overeem, who's a huge... I don't know if you know him. He's a monstrously big, like, Dutchman. He's just He's a big kickboxer and had a fight against Brock Lesnar and quite wisely, but also quite brutally, kicked him in the stomach loads to win the fight. And
you've got to go for your weakest...
Yeah. And he did win the fight, but the reason this is important for wrestling is that this chain of events led to Lesnar leaving the UFC, coming back to the WWE, and he came out and confronted John Cena. Cena did this like that, and then Lesnar battered him, and then things have never been the same. Like, it's really shaped modern wrestling.
Yeah.
At the time of recording, Lesnar is still Universal Champion. He may have lost it by the time this goes out.
Quite possibly.
Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
But without Lesnar, it's hard to see what the Universal Championship would have... who would it be on now? What would it be? Would it be just a regular belt? Because at the minute, that championship feels so different because Lesnar doesn't really show up.
Because he's part-time. But what are you saying? Because that's a really positive spin on it. And do you know what? I think, anyway, that sounded quite positive.
Oh, I don't know. I was just thrown out.
Well, no, it did sound quite positive because I think a lot of people really bash the fact that it is part-time, that championship.
It does make the belt feel unique.
But I think that sounds quite positive, and I like that.
For me, I've not really got too clear an opinion on it. There's positives and negatives for that belt. But it at least sets it apart from the WWE Championship a little bit.
So that was this day in wrestling, and you can follow me on Twitter here. If you like what we do at Cultaholic, you can support us by pledging to our Patreon, patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.